Ciao a tutti and welcome to Apex Racing TV and iRacing Live for the British Sim Racers Formula Renault Championship. Andrew Woodhouse here alongside I ragazzi, Alex Simpson and Adam Bath. And Adam, well, welcome to Italy again, Monza circuit. And we have what I think is the proper layout here today, no nonsense and stuff.
Yeah, from what I can see, we've got a nice first chicane looking at us here. The Rettifilio is being used for the Monza layout today, and yeah, I think we're going to be all the good for it. We're going to get plenty of slipstreaming anyway, and yeah, we've got quite a few cars on the grid today. That's 16 drivers ready to tackle the 5.7 kilometre circuit.
Yeah, Alex, decent turnout today, and that's without us or even a couple of drivers who are missing. So we'll see some good racing. It's going to be very slipstream dependent, of course, and as usual, qualifying is going to be quite important here.
Yeah, very much so. I think, especially on the first race, what it's like, who does what. Good to see Martin back. Of course, quite a gap that he's got to close up in the final few rounds of the season, so he'll be hoping for a retirement from Keithley to make that a little bit easier. But yeah, it looks pretty close out there, and looking at the times at the moment. So who knows what's going to happen this one? 16 cars, yeah, up to a fairly reasonable sized grid as well.
Yeah, that's fairly decent. Presuming they all get through the first couple of laps, of course, mate. And
well,
15 minutes is the time for the first race here at Monza. We're going to have about 8 laps. You would think. I think the 1 minute 46, 47 sort of lap time. At the minute, Martin van Loozenhout leads the way, Adam, and he really has to because he missed the weeks, and that gave the advantage to Jack Keithley.
Yeah, the gap is nearly 300 points between Keithley and Van Loozenhout. That is the swing that it has taken after what happened last week. Yeah, 296 points between them. Tom Depke is in third. A few doubts over whether he was going to be racing tonight, but he is here and is ninth on the grid. Samuel Lebert in fourth. Fifth is Kip Stevens. And then, yeah, those are the drivers competing for the Pro Championship. Over in the AMS, it is Stephen Baxter and Jos Honig with 31 points between them, then 14 points back to Paul Denton in third, then Roy Verke in fourth, and Christian Rose in fifth, and Yannick Ongener, Rafe Cullen, and Josh Thompson also in the AM showdown. In the teams, yeah, Faker Sim Sport Europe running away with it at the moment, Apex Racing UK second, CQR Club in third, and then Pro Sim in fourth place.
Another reason today, Alex, why we might see some exciting racing, not just the championship battle being on the line, but the fact that we've got low downforce here, of course, barely any wing at Monza, and it usually gives us fairly skittish cars that are prone to dancing about along the circuit.
Yeah, and I think they'll have trimmed, guys will have trimmed the cars out absolute to the maximum as well. So minimum rear wing and try and balance out the front wing with it, and they've probably got that on as minimum as possible with the front end poking up in the air just to try and make it shaped a bit like a bullet down the straight. Because yeah, top speed is everything here at Monza. Fortunately, there's not enough power really in these cars to really worry too much about it being that skittish. Coming out of the sort of the chicanes, but might be a bit tricky through Ascari, maybe coming out of Parabolica, so we'll have to watch a few people, see if they drop it there.
Where Josh Thompson in practice earlier on was getting big slides coming through and out of Ascari, so yeah, you're right, that's going to be the area where we're going to see some issues. Maybe the first Lesmo, Adam, as well, because that's one where get a bit of a slide on, can easily get overcorrected and go off into the gravel on the left-hand side.
Same with the second Lesmo as well. There's a massive bump on entry, especially if you're on the inside. So drivers have to watch out for both of those corners, and then the run through Ascari where the car can easily escape from you as well. So that's middle sector. The drivers going to have their wits about them. We're on the grid. Martin van Loozenhout on pole, just a tenth and a half ahead of, 2 tenths ahead of Josh Thompson in second. Jack Keithley in third, the championship leader. He doesn't want to let Martin van Loozenhout get too far out of his sights. Stephen Baxter in fourth, fifth Samuel Lebert, sixth Paul Denton, seventh Jos Honig, eighth Rob Plumley. He's in. Ninth Tom Depke and Stelin Chepelevsky in 10th. Stephen Inskip in 11th with Rafe Cullen in 12th. Roy Verke in 13th. Alex Malensky in 14th. 15th Kip Stevens. And starting in 16th place, not setting a time, it's David Waldock.
I believe, Alex, that Waldock might have been thrown to the back for because he caused the first corner pile-up, didn't he, last week at Kota?
Yeah, I think that might have been it. He took took it pretty well and knew exactly that he was to blame, didn't he? He said sorry and everything on there, so it was it's good from Dave from that point of view. But yeah, unfortunately, the stewards just putting him to the back of the grid nonetheless.
Well, it's going to be good to see him coming through because he did get the 8th fastest time in practice, so it's a good chance he'll take quite a few drivers here. Rob Plumley as well, good to see him.
Yeah, Rob did do a few races early on in the season, if I remember, but yeah, hasn't really hasn't sort of shown up too much. So good to see him back.
Bit of a throwback to the days when we first started doing BSR, where he always used to have his stream going. So wonder we'll be seeing the same today, as we're not too far away from the lights.
Usually is. I remember his J turn at Montreal as well, and crossing the line in reverse, which is all good fun. We've had cars crossing the line in spectacular fashion here before. Here we go then. First time tonight. Red lights are on at Monza. Green light is on, and we are away. Start by Van Loosen, he really got away well. Thompson following in there, and Keithley into the Rettifilio then.
Oh,
Gonna be
what a great move.
Everybody very well behaved there. Plumley side by side with Cullinan, but everyone is through, and I may say that might be the cleanest start at the first corner, Alex, that I may have ever seen here.
For Monza, definitely. Let's not speak too soon, though. We've got another chicane coming right up, and yeah, many people have been Rogered in the Roger, haven't they?
No, they haven't, and it may still happen. We'll see what happens. It's usually in the mid-pack, isn't it? And Honig and Coe and Plumley and Inskip and Decker, and they're the ones who are finding it closer going, but
it's pretty good.
Yeah, everyone's through them. First 2 chicanes, let's not hold our breath, boys, but
a bit hairy going through the first of the Lesmos. Honig and Denton, and also Stalin Chapalevsky as they go through the second of the Lesmos. No one getting lynched at the Lesmos, but we're now on our way down the straight, and you can see that the Apex car has got a lot of damage. That's Leclerc.
Look at this pack. Really going to be jockeying for position, Alex, now, and it's such a tough decision. Where do you place your car in this sort of situation?
Yeah, sort of in the middle somewhere, really. Side by side, going into Ascari. That's good. Denton really recovering from, I think he made a little mistake. Did he get a slowdown? I wasn't sure.
That was good driving from Chepi as well, Alex, because he told them there might be an issue if he pushed really hard against Denton and got out of it.
Yeah, Stelling always very fair, isn't he? Gives the room where he needs to. So.
There's his pole as well, I must say.
And yeah, fairly new to obviously the car too, so still learning that on how far he can push these guys. And yep, good little battle going on there.
That one then, Adam, and it's Martin Van Loosen leading, Jack Keithley second, championship leader. Then it's Josh Thompson in third, saying how he had a lot of straight line speed, but of course, if you slow off the chicanes here, you can have all the straight line speed in the world, but it's not going to help you.
Yeah, Thompson got a good jump away from the line, but it was Keithley with the move up the inside into the Rettifilio. I think we had a better, cleaner start than the WCS managed to do a few seasons back.
That wouldn't be hard, would it? Really, with that lot.
Thompson.
I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure, Alex. You might be able to quote me on this. I'm not sure I've ever seen a clean start in the World Championship Series. A fully clean start. If you can give me one, I will take that back. But every time I see it, there's usually things going on. Oh, off! And speaking of things going on, Cullinan face first into the wall.
Great for Cullinan.
Can he get it round? He can.
I remember Alonso getting stuck in the gravel once there in his Renault.
Oh yeah.
Quite a long time ago now.
A couple of incidents there, weren't there? Yeah. Out of the Roger that in mid-2000s Formula 1. I remember those. A couple into the Roger as well, sadly, in 2000. That horrible one.
Honestly, Andrew, I was thinking about your question there, and I don't think I can give you one. Not over first corner, maybe, but first lap, no. Don't think it exists.
Well,
good battle.
Not in my time, anyway. So what's that? 3-4 years worth of?
That is about 4 years.
Yeah. So
here comes
Inskip and Denton. Is it what you're looking at as well? Those two are very close down the back straight.
Really trying to get close is Stephen Inskip, but a good start by him actually, 4 positions. So I wonder if
he's got a great run coming out of Parabolica though. He's going to be side by side, but no draft there for him, so he's going to have to tuck back in, and indeed he does.
And that's it. We saw at the weekend, didn't we, Adam, with Sebastian Vettel, that sometimes if you force into a drag race, the other car, not a lot of slipstream, then It'll be very difficult to get through, but in skip on Denton and through. And Faker, Alex, they know that championship is theirs for the taking, so they just need to stay out of trouble, really.
That's
Easier
the
said
thing.
than
The
done.
only team that's really made a real effort to make sure that they've got 5 cars on the grid every race, clocking up all of the points, and this is why they're going to win the team championship hands. Easy, really.
And we do slag them a bit for sort of being cautious, but they've earned the right to be cautious now by the fact that the season has been so good, and they are literally the only team who's performed to expectations.
Yeah, absolutely. So, hats off to those guys and Jos for organising it and keeping them all, active and in there.
Roughly in check.
And then speaking to Josh Thompson earlier as he makes a move on Jack Keithley for 2nd position. Going into the Variante Ascari, he's brought along some reinforcements to help take the fight to the likes of Prosim and Faker. Might be a bit late for that, but boosts the grid anyway. And a good move by Thompson into the Ascari.
He's under pressure now, though, isn't it? Keithley right in the slipstream. Is he going to go up the inside into Parabolica? You know what, Alex? I'd almost forgotten for a second about the history between these two. I was just calling that as a normal battle, but we know it's anything but. Sometimes when these two get on the track together, Keithley's going to have a great run over the start-finish line.
Steve, problem for Inskip.
Oh no! Well, Inskip had made 5 positions gained.
Where's that? Parabolica, I think, something like that. So.
Let's head to toe back to the pits too. Oh, that is a big one. Entry to Parabolica. Oh, he gets hit by Paul Denton.
And I have to say it, but that Inskip, that's exactly where the car's going.
in the Yorkshire accent as well.
Yeah.
It's going in. That'd be int skip. So that would be. He went into wall though, and that was the problem. He got hit up the rear, and that's probably be a penalty. I think that's pretty much a slam dunk, I reckon.
Thompson back
he
into
went
second.
past Thompson, and Thompson's got back through again, going into the Rogers. So, it's on for those two. I think if Josh can just break away a little bit through the Lesmos, might have the straight line speed to pull away. Baxter having a good race in 4th place as well. Not really battling these guys, but still consolidating his AM Championship lead right now.
Top 10 then, with 8 minutes to go, just about approaching the halfway mark of the race. Van Loosenhoorn 3.4 seconds ahead now of Thompson in 2nd. He's got a few tenths in hand over Jack Keithley in 3rd. Stephen Baxter in 4th. He's just keeping a watchful eye on those guys. And it's Honig in 5th. Selin Shepelevsky and Paul Denton continuing their scrap for 6th position. And then Plumley in 8th, with Waldock pretty close to him in 9th.
I'll say it's been a pretty good drive by David Waldock, actually, from stone dead last. He's now in 9th position and right up behind Rob Plumley. He pulls out and up the inside into Parabolica. Nice clinical move. That was surgical, like Floyd Mayweather was. However, Rob Plumley, he doesn't give up easily, and we'll see if he can come back through, but it looks like Waldock. Oh, he's dug back in the slipstream. Alex has got a chance into the Redfield.
Yep, just got that extra bit of run. It's going to all be about on the brakes. Who's the bravest? They look pretty equal, to be fair.
Little lock up.
Plumley there, so good, nice, and good from Waldock as well. He didn't try and dart towards the apex there.
We saw Shepelevsky getting in front of Denton as well, Alex, at the same corner, thinking the same way.
Well, good battles on there. I thought Chippy earlier on was perhaps carrying a little bit more downforce. He looked like he was carrying more speed through a lot of these corners than some of the other people. And we know that ProSim perhaps are doing a very similar sort of job to sort of Faker as well, just playing it safe. So maybe got a little bit more aero on there just to help.
But of course that helps you at the start as well, doesn't it? When the car is heavier, and off goes Plumley. And Waldock's back through again. Waldock's wide, he's on the gravel.
And
a little bit. You can get away with it a little bit on the Lesmo too, but.
Did Cheppy get slow down there? I think he did.
That's allowed Denton back through, but the Plumley Waldock battle continues going into the Ascari chicane, and it's going to be Waldock that's later on the brakes. Just and they're both getting wiggles on going through the right hander and then the flick back to the left.
A great battle.
Just watching a replay of Robert going off there as well.
Rob Plumley very, very good driver, a veteran driver of the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship, and we wish he could be back in that a little bit more regular basis, but as well with his streaming, and those videos are always enjoyable, so and he gets an very enjoyable slipstream now, Adam, over the line.
Yeah, he's trying everything he can to get as much straight line speed.
Not for Dave Waldock anyway, sorry.
Is it a bit of a NASCAR side draft we're trying to see going on here as we come across the line? Yeah, don't know if it has the same effect, but he's trying anyway.
You can get side draft, I think, in these, can you, Alex? Does side draft work in open wheelers?
You get a little bit of draft from the side, only as much as sort of about halfway up the car, because it pushes the air, wide as well. So you do get a little bit, but it's not really an awful lot, to be honest.
You get a side draft, am I right, because of the flatness of the side of a stock car? Is that mainly why?
All it does is push you get it, because as long as your nose is behind, it pushes the air wide, so it's still pushing some air out of the way, you see, even when you're at the side, as long as you're behind.
But is that why it's more successful in the NASCAR, do you think, because it
pushes a lot more air because of the size of them, exactly that.
Yeah,
so. With these, they're a lot more aerodynamic, so it tends to be over the top, so there's very little, but you still do get some. But mostly with these cars, it's the run that you get from being tucked up right behind, so you're carrying that extra momentum anyway.
Battle for 11th position is hotting up. You've got Roy Verkerk ahead of Rafe Cullinan, and Cullinan was facing the wrong way earlier on, so he'll be looking to redeem himself with a couple of positions.
And just see behind these two that you can see the familiar Apex colours of Samuel Lebert in 13th, 8 positions, lost once again, a victim of the damage. Samuel Lebert, the Frenchman, he's going to be riding out this first race in terms of getting a pole position for race 2. He should be high up there as long as he finishes.
What happened to him?
I don't know, the damage. I saw the damage on the opening lap of the race.
That one, wasn't it? So I don't know if it was some sort of high curbing or something like that he caught. As Rafe goes for a position on Verkerk into the Parabolica.
Really kept his race up.
Oh, it's killing him. I mean, lap time wise, it's what 152s. You know what this Renault's like once you get damage on the front there. You just so slow.
Oh.
And here at Monza, nothing you can do.
Yeah, this though, Verkerk versus Cullinan, fairly even though Rafe's got a tiny bit of slipstream from the Pro Sim car, but he gets in there nicely into turn 1. Lovely move by Cullinan, and he goes up days, in fact, in 11th place. He's got Alex Smolensky in front of him. I think that's very achievable, Alex, in the last couple of laps to get by Smolensky, given that Cullinan was 7/10 quicker than him in qualifying.
Yeah, I've done a great job actually in the race. And how often do we see that though? That drivers just race pace wise much more on it. Sometimes the pressure of qualifying, you've only got 3-4 laps to get something in, so can cause some problems. Not long to go, less than 3 minutes.
Yeah, and the front's spread out now. You've got 4.5 seconds Martin van Loozenhout leads this race by. In my opinion, in my experience, limited as it may be, it's quite difficult to get that kind of a gap here.
Yeah, it is. I mean, obviously Josh and Keithy had that little battle. It did jump up a little bit there. It was around sort of 2.5 seconds before they started going at it. And lap time wise, Josh very similar to Martin now, 10th or so in it. But I think the qualifying pace, I think that's quite genuine between those three. There's about 2/10 difference, so Martin's just got the edge. And I know it's very, very quick round here as well. Martin likes the car when it's got very little downforce. He's a driver that absolutely can drive a car on the edge of control as well. So really light fingers on that wheel, and really likes it dancing around and doesn't mind. So he'll be attacking the corners that we said would be troublesome, just as if he was running high downforce. I can assure you that.
Light fingered, but yeah, definitely hasn't stolen anything here. He's worked very, very hard for it, and it's very, very impressive indeed. And Josh Thompson's prophecy of having great straight line speed, adamant being very comfortable with the car in the race conditions, like it's coming true. He's in second position. He only lost 1/10 of a second there on that previous lap.
Yeah, him and Keithley had a few exchanges in the opening few laps. Nothing new there between those two, but once he'd be able to dispose of the championship leader, Josh Thompson's pulled out a healthy 2-second advantage, and yeah, he looks on his way for second place finish when we get one more lap to go when we get to the line. Close battle still continuing between Rafe Cullinan and Alex Smolenski. I think that is a change on this lap as as Cullinan through into 10th place. As Smolenski gets a great run through second Lesmo, and they're closing in on Rob Plumley, who I think might have made a small mistake.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he might have a slightly bent front wing, I think, Plumley. And Cullinan gets the draft, so does Smolenski. And Cullinan try the outside on Plumley, breaks very late. Plumley's in trouble. Oh, Plumley's definitely in trouble, and he hits Smolenski, and I'm sure they must have crashed together before.
I was thinking exactly the same thing. That's BSR TC all over again, isn't it?
Maybe
Rob's going to be like, oh my god, Alex, not again.
Maybe Smolenski wanted to give Plumley a taste of 2015 all over again.
Oh, Kip Stevens is
Stevens
around
is
as
fun,
well, so
yeah.
it's all gone pear-shaped for
He's
Pro
interested
Sim
to people, has he?
in and around Ascari. No, he's on his own.
Oh, dear.
Unless he run into to Rob, but I don't think he did.
He's bent the wing as well as Kip. No, that's... Oh, he missed the braking altogether. Tried to go over... Oh, tried to go across the grass to get back on the circuit. And in the process, he spun and bent the wing. So, not the best for Kip.
Half of that to go then for Martin. White flag is out.
Yeah, and driving well. Does Martin tend to like this circuit?
Not really sure if Martin likes this one as a favourite or not, to be honest. He always run really well here, and I think even back in when he did the Pro Series in 2015, I think it was. I think this was where he got his win, if I'm not mistaken. So he's very quick here.
Yeah, you very much like the circuit, but we'll talk about that in the next one. But Martin van Loozenhout then had a charging towards the win.
He goes down the back straight, strolling towards it, maybe even sauntering towards the opening win of the day. Through the final corner, he needs to gain the points back on Jack Keighley, and he's got off to the best possible start through the final corner.
That'll be a Lance Stroll, who knows. Over the line for Martin van Loozenhout, and he takes the win here at Monza. He fares better than Max Verstappen did, and he actually finishes a race. Josh Thompson, P2, Jack Keighley in third. Even Baxter, again, another drive where we didn't see him at all, really. But P4, he'll be definitely happy with that. And Jos Honig, a very good fifth. Sixth for Paul Denton. And Epi, Waldock. We've got to wait a little bit. We've still got cars fairly close together. Oh, Smolenski.
Oh no, Alex Smolenski, something's happened to him.
Definitely a problem there. That looks like fuel, gentlemen.
It might have had a spin, and he might have had he had a spin. Oh dear me, he's had his Mark Webber moment. He vaulted the curbs going through the final part of Ascari and had a trip through the gravel.
Oh, that must have really shocked the car. Let's have a look. Oh, big hit. Oh, and a bigger hit at the second curb. I don't know why.
Maybe his triples fell over, and he had to get them back up again. Maybe that's why he had to slow down.
Maybe so. Have a look. Is the wheel? You know what? It doesn't look like he's having any difficulty steering it. Maybe it's the rear of the car. What do you think, Alex? Any reason why he would have gone so slowly there on the final few corners?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Maybe he was on the incident limit. Maybe didn't want to risk an incident point or something.
You need to go that slow though. Can't see that it would have blown the engine, I have to say. So.
In fairness, I think he only lost. Actually, lost 3 places, didn't he? He lost to Plumley, Libert, and Hip. So still finished 14th, but 63 seconds lead. Adam, if you could take us through the finishing order, then, mate.
Okay, so race victory for Martin van Loozenhout in the opening race of the day. Josh Thompson in second, third Jack Keighley, and then fourth Stephen Baxter, fifth Jos Honig, sixth for Paul Denton, seventh Stelian Chepelewski with David Waldock in eighth, Rafe Cullinan in ninth, and Roy Ververke running out the top 10. Rob Plumley finishing in 11th, 12th for Samuel Lebert. The consolation for him is that he's going to be pretty much near the front for the second race. Kip Stevens finishing in 13th, Alex Smolenski in 14th after a pretty hectic final few laps for him. And then 15th, Tom Depke, and Stephen Inskip. Shame for him, really, because he was having a good race. He said on the chat that he was worried that he would be driving into someone else. Instead, he was the one that got driven into and finished in 16th, 6 laps down.
He did. He'll be hoping for better in race 2. And Tom Depke is going to be starting on pole position. So, Well, thank you for watching the first race of the evening tonight from Monza. We've got 3 more to come here on Apex Racing TV and iRacing Live when the British Sim Racers Formula Renault Championship continues.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
the outside, contact made. 56 slides it at a 4. Who's it going to be at the stripe? Dead even, give it to Ryan Truex. Truex is your winner over Tandy.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Welcome back to the BSR Formula Renault here on Apex Racing TV and iRacing Live. Andrew Woodhouse here alongside Adam Bath and iRacing World Championship driver Alex Simpson. Alex, I mentioned before that you love this place. What exactly is about it that makes it one of your favourite tracks?
Yeah, I think good combination of good possibilities for overtaking. Obviously, it's one of the sort of few rare tracks where we'll really trim the cars out, especially in like the McLaren, and have it running on low downforce, and even the old Williams as well. It was unheard of to have that car on low downforce. So, yeah, that made it a nice, unique challenge. Yeah, really you can go wheel to wheel, and there's different strategy options as well because it's quite kind on tyres around here as well. So you can opt to go for a no-stop strategy and things like this. So it just gives lots of great racing. Even in like the GT cars, the Blancpain was fantastic races around here. I mean, huge, massive draft packs in that race.
Unless you've had him Kogai.
Well, this is it, yeah.
It doesn't tend to go that well through around here. I will say, I remember when we were going for pro originally, when I was going for pro in the Williams, I said to you, should we try low downforce? 2 or 3 laps later, it was just like, no. That was at Indianapolis, I think. But oh dear, yeah, the Williams, it really did like the high downforce setup, and it's a nice change. And we're going to see, of course, the Italian Grand Prix, Adam, coming up very soon, and it'd be nice to see those 2017 cars with the real bit of bite down the straights.
I'm yet to really try Monza in the 2017 cars on another game.
Not touched it. Yeah.
No, neither have I. In fact, in any car, I don't think. Tom Depke starts on pole position, by the way, in the Formula Renault. Alex Smolensky starts second. The series we're covering. Samuel Lepere in third. Rob Plumley fourth. Roy Verke in fifth. Rafe Cullinan sixth. David Waldock seventh. Chevalevsky in eighth. Then it's Paul Denton ninth. Honig 10th. Then it's Stephen Baxter, Jack Keithley, Thompson, Martin van Loozenord in skip, and Kip Stevens starting at the back of the grid in 16th place.
Right then. About ready for the start. Last car forming up at the back of the grid. Headlights are on.
Green, green, green.
Green light is on. Pretty even start from the front three. Lepere pressurising Smolensky, who's already on top of Tom Depke. Depke on the inside. Oh, Lepere trying to go through the middle. That's not going to work at all.
Oh, he goes into the
Smolensky
back
and Depke possibly banging wheels there. They don't want to get interlocked. That can happen. Cause a big accident. Good start by Alex Smolensky. Has Depke got a slow down? I think he may have.
Yeah, that looks like a
Yeah,
slow
he
down.
definitely has. Oh, and Plumley nearly into it.
I was worried for a moment that Lepere may have picked up a bit more front wing damage. However, it looks pretty clean as we go into the Rogier.
Comes Cullinan. And we go on Verke for third place.
Oh.
He hits him. And that sends Waldock off.
Oh, all kinds of carnage. Depke getting involved in something on the aftermath as well.
Oh, with a lot of damage to the rear wing. That must be Depke, I think. That slowdown penalty plus a hit up the back, it looks like, for him. Not going at all well.
Benton off into the gravel as well, I think. And Loozenord's got damage too. And Loozenord versus Thompson.
Loozenord, yeah, front wing.
Oh no.
Yeah, Martin's got front wing damage, so that's going to slow him down much like Lepere did.
Jack Keithley's gained 8 positions, by the way, up to 4th. Just after finishing in 3rd place in race 1.
Thompson and Denton just gets the hell out of the way. Loozenord trying to go through, but he hasn't got any straight line speed, Adam. He's not going to make it.
No, despite the damage. Yeah, there we go. You go. Flying by goes Stephen Inskip, who's gained 6 positions in the opening few exchanges. Keithley past Cullinan as we go over the line to complete the opening lap. So that is Keithley back up to where he finished race 1.
Inskip's got great straight line speed. He just took Paul Denton as well. Moving to the Parabolica, but I reckon he's going to lose that position again.
Cullinan got a lot of speed under him there, using the toe as well down the front straight. So he's going to go back into 3rd place. But Keithley could be late on the brakes, and he is.
Van Loozenord losing.
Oh, it's off. Smolensky's off, the leader. He was leading at the line, and he's off in the gravel.
Caused a very close procession there through the Rettifilio. Trying to avoid the spun machine of Smolensky. Keithley now attacking Cullinan. It's Cullinan attacking Keithley, I beg your pardon. Cullinan around the outside.
Tell you what, Cullinan's not the... it's not going to be easily disposed, I think, by Jack Keithley. I think he's starting to learn that now in the early stages of the race. Oh, but he runs wide. Curse the commentator straight away there through the first of the Lesmos. And through goes Keithley now into second place.
Samuel Lebert leading. And he would have thought, Alex, that he wouldn't have had to deal with Keithley in this race. Keithley starting 12th, but Jack's got other ideas.
Yeah, let's see if he once they're, got no traffic around either of them. We'll see how the lap times compare.
Oh, in a straight line, Keithley, though, I must admit.
Oh,
Doesn't look like he's got any damage either. Good move there on Cullinan to the Variante Ascari.
This battle just in the space of a few corners has allowed Samuel Lebert to pull out another half a second, gap up to 2.2.
Plumley, what's he going to do? Stay behind is what he's going to do. That's probably the sensible thing. Parabolica, because he knows, Alex, that Parabolica's not really, even though it is an overtaking place, it's maybe not a sensible one, as the opposition's going to get a good chance to come back down the main straight here.
Yeah, that's it. You just tend to
On the
lose,
white
don't you?
line. Got it.
Oh. Where does Plumley go there? He's kind of sort of stuck, isn't he, really? Nowhere to go in the end. Thompson's arrived on the scene, all a bit deep into the corner.
Oh, Cullinan. Oh, he's lost it.
That's going to be Thompson through into fourth. And here comes Chapalevsky. He's found some space on the inside of Curva Grande and he's through.
Well, there was a tiny gap there and Cheppy decided he was going to go for it. And the Bulgarian driver moving forward. Has Plumley got to slow down? He's just defending the outside line. He's got no straight line speed, Rob Plumley, so I would imagine that was a slowdown. And there's a car parked,
Honig.
And it's Jos Honig parked on the inside of the Rogia. I'm not sure why that is. Not sure why he is there, but he's been there for 2 laps now, it looks like.
Hasn't got beached on a curb, has he?
Yeah, well, if you are, you...
Go back to the pits.
Yeah, that's what I
Maybe he's
say,
thinking
go
someone
back to-
might hit him.
Yeah,
Get
it's
him off
possible.
there.
Just a
here
little
comes,
nudge, that's all he needed.
Here comes Cheppy on Plumley.
Also, Baxter past Steve as well in the background. Inskip under pressure.
Well, say Inskip did a few races at the start of the season, didn't he? And he didn't do too badly, from what I remember.
No, Steve's a quick driver. He's done obviously a lot of Renault. Did a lot of Renault in the Apex Academy as well. So, he knows his way around the car.
Oh! That's Van Loosenhoord off in the background.
Don't know whether... look at this. 3 wide nearly. Down the back straight into Parabolica. Cheppy on the inside. Plumley in the middle. And Cullinan trying to forge a path on the outside.
These two have raced each other a lot, haven't they, over the years?
Definitely, yeah. Some of the pioneers of the early seasons of the BSRTC, these two.
Plumley, Alex, you'll appreciate that. He's got a nice Mansell helmet.
Terrible lap from Lebert. Lost 2 seconds.
Awful. 7/10 the gap is now 6
Oh,
tenths.
here we go. 2x2, Baxter. Cheppy, you were right about the downforce of Cheppy, surely. Oh, 3 wide, dear me, Cullinan. Pops off Baxter.
Oh, where's
Deep
Plumley
into
going?
the corner. Plumley's going over the bollards. And
Keithley leads. What's happened to Lebert? Samuel Lebert, who was in the lead, he's off and he's lost the rear wing.
Oh, no.
The Retafilio.
oh, and over. There's a car over in the barrier.
It's Keithley.
It's Keithley.
So our 2 leaders have been obliterated. Josh Thompson leads now.
And my goodness, what happened? So Lebert... Oh, Lebert loses the car. What is he doing?
Oh dear. Oh dear. That is awful.
What on earth happened there? I hope that's not what it looks like from the camera angle that
I think he just lost the car. He was
I hope so.
massively out of control, I think, with the rear there. Cooked the tyres and then tried to recover it while not losing the position.
Oh,
and
dear.
boom.
Cullinan is out.
What?
Rafe Cullinan is out of the race. And what has happened to him? He was on the exit of the Rogia.
Still on the replay, see what happened. Oh,
It did... Sorry.
There you go. I mean, that's an just exact, almost carbon copy, but to spin the other way as to what happened to Lebert. Cooked the tyres coming out there, reacted, and the car just snapped the other way.
The reason why I was hesitant at first is it looked like a very, very long... It wasn't the typical twitch that you get here on iRacing where you correct one way and then it bites the other way. I think it was just a general overheating of the tyres moment for Lebert, wasn't it?
Yeah, and Keith's not going to be happy with that. because even though Martin's not having the best of race with all the damage that he's got, he's still going to gain an absolute boatload of points, and this is what Keithley needs to avoid more than anything.
Martin's just got passed by the rear wingless Libert.
They're actually fighting out there as well, aren't they?
In fact, no, that's Martin going past Libert, because Libert's not only got no rear wing, he's got front wing damage as well.
Oh. So yeah, so it's almost become like an equaliser for him. He's got 0 downforce at the back, and now he's got a whole lot more at the front.
Well, Martin's in a Formula Renault, and Libert's in a Formula Ford.
That's it. Where's Graham when you need him?
Well, the only thing for Jack Keithley is that A, he'll score 0 points, and B, he won't be eligible for the reverse grid for race 3. So Martin van Loozenhoorn, he can finish anywhere, and he'll still be in contention for that reverse grid.
David Waldock's 1 lap down, and he's having to steer to the right to go straight, so that's always good.
First lap carnage after the last race, which was so good. Everybody so sort of disciplined and patient, give themselves all the room. Just all got a bit tight and nasty in this one. It's caused all sorts of problems.
Well, Libert's still in 9th. Van Loozenhoorn in 8th. That'll be a real get out of jail free if he finishes 8th, Adam, won't it? After considering what happened to Libert in race 1.
Poor Libert doesn't really get much luck, does he?
No,
constant damage.
Didn't look like there was much he could have done about that one.
Trying everything he could. But yeah, nothing he could have done to avoid it. The Faker Sim Sport car of Jack Keithley.
Oh.
They're going to be ones to watch, I think, as Inskip versus Chepelevsky now. Is this Chepelevsky?
Yeah,
it is. That's heating up as Josh Thompson puts in a new fastest lap of the race on lap 6 of the race now, as we're now at 2/3 distance.
He has inherited the lead, Thompson, but shown good pace so far in the meeting and deserves to be there. Baxter in P2, and then car 789 of Stephen Inskip.
Have a look at the straight line speed between Inskip and Cheppy here. So Cheppy well within the draft. You'd expect him to get a reasonable run, and constantly slower and losing time down the straight through Curva Grande.
That's the thing. That's why he's been in so much excitement today, isn't it, really, mate? Because he's so quick through the corners. He gets runs on people. Yep. But he cannot maintain it because he does not have the top end. He could do with trimming that car out a tiny bit for the last 2 races. I don't think he'd lose a great deal of drivability. I think he just needs to. He's a good enough driver to work around that.
He lost 0.2 of a second going down towards the Roger, and then he gained a 1/10 of it back, and then another 1/10, and make that 2/10 through the Lesmos. So
when you're that slow in a straight line, it just takes away all the good work.
Yeah,
in the
I mean, he needs the slipstream just to keep up. That's the thing down the straight. So without that, it'd be very, very compromised.
Watch this Ascari now. Extra grip he's got through there, but Ascari in the Formula Renault, it's not really a downforce dependent corner. It's more a flat out corner, isn't it?
Ascari in the McLaren with full downforce on is absolutely amazing.
We'll see this through Parabolica then. It close up a little bit that time. Yeah, through Parabolica, look at the seems to get so much better traction, but
the thing he's got to worry about is going to hit him as well, you know? That's the thing. He can only take so much extra speed in there. And
this looks a bit of a better run for Cheppy, actually. He's got the
slipstream.
Bit.
Just got a tiny couple of Ks, that's all he is with the extra speed.
Getting there, though.
It's going to have to sort of be a move, isn't it? Like a late move, use the downforce, the brakes, the extra stopping, power that you have with the downforce.
You see, that's exactly what you were talking about there. He gets out of the corner really, really well, but there's a car in the way. He's driven a fantastic race, so if he gets on the podium from 15th on the grid, will be an all-timer, that will.
Yeah, him and Thompson both gaining 12 positions during the race. Looks like Inskip was going for the fast-in, slow-out strategy there through the Rettifilio. And Cheppy's lost a lot of time through that Della Roggia there. Didn't get the best run at all through there.
To be fair, you can sort of get away with being fast in and slow out when the car behind you's got no straight line speed.
Like anything goes, pretty much.
Yeah. And Loozenhoorn and Stevens were quite close together. Martin's actually gone up the road from Kip in the last lap or so.
We're about 6 tenths apart at the start of the lap. You can see what remains of Samuel Lebert's car. He's got in front of him Roy Ververke, who is a few laps down.
Just lapped Roy Ververke, yeah. Boys 1 lap down, as is David Waldock. Still going, and Keithley and Cullinan out of the proceedings.
Blow through Ascari for Stellion, and he might well have lost the draft now as well. And literally, you can see the time. It's like he's 8 or 9 kilometers an hour slower on the straights when he's not in the draft.
Has he got some damage that we can't see? Maybe damaged the floor or something?
No,
because he was slow in the first race, but he wasn't that slow in the straight.
It literally is just the downforce levels that he's got on the car.
That's
It's
called
so
baseline
easy
setup,
to see with how quick he is through most of the corners.
Have a look then. Stellion Cheplewski 241 kilometres an hour. Stephen Hinskip 250 kilometres an hour, and Stellion's in the draft. So, hey, this is where he's strong. He's Cheplewski. In a 10th or 2 here. Again, there's just so many straights here. It's not like you're at. Oh, Smolensky's lost it again.
Oh, the same place where he lost the lead at the start of race 2.
Recover in front of Van Loozenhoorn.
I don't want to say it, but he's just coming in too hot with the rear biased. A little bit too far back, and of course,
yes.
the rears are locking. Some of these drivers ought to watch this broadcast back. They might get a tip or 2.
That old chestnut again, but it is true.
You have they set the car up so that the balance is in the middle. No front locking, no rear locking.
Like locking the fronts is okay,
I don't know,
because obviously you're not going to.
The cars we were driving on F1 2017 seem to be set up towards the front. Anyway, the amount of locking that I've had the last few days.
Oh, front locking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I had it right. When I locked the rears once, and I went, what? I used to have my bias around 58% in those cars, but yeah.
We haven't spoke about him again, but he's sitting nicely in 2nd place.
Baxter.
Oh.
My man, Stephen Baxter. Yeah, he's 4th and maybe 2nd here. I mean, you cannot argue with that, Alex, at all, can you?
Nope. No, not at all. Perfect. This is what he needs to do for this championship. He's really come on strong. I mean, it looked like it was all going to go Denton's way. He seemed like the only one who was just banging in those good, consistent results. I mean, Paul doing a good job in 5th place in this race as well, but Baxter's just stepped it up and constantly a couple of places up the road in the showdown.
Samuel Lebert still valiantly hanging on in 10th place, and if Stevens versus Martin Van Loozenhoorn here, this one could come to a head here.
Oh yeah. Well, it's not often you see these two fighting, but it looks like obviously Van Loozenhoorn's wounded.
He would in a touring car, I'm sure of that. Stevens a very good driver in Kia Optima.
Remember, this
takes me
back to Imola when Van Loozenhoorn was battling with someone that we know very well when he had a little bit of damage.
Ah, what a glorious day.
And
he got disqualified as well, didn't he?
Oh, so he's having a good scrap here with Kip on the final lap of the race.
Yeah, and he's going to find it difficult as well. He might just have to have a lunge to Rogier. He's late on the brakes.
I just said save it to the Parabolica. Have a lunge going to the Parabolica. No time to fight back there.
You see Kip over the curbs like a V8 supercar.
Imagine if we had
well, that's probably going to have saved him actually. Martin, he might be able to stay in front at this point. There's a bit of a gap. Where's Thompson?
Need to go to the front. Yeah, Josh Thompson. He's only got 1 corner to go, and I tell you what, boys, he has done a fantastic race. He was 13th on the grid, and definitely lucky for him this time. Through the final corner for Josh Thompson. Parabolica. Only a short distance to go now to the line. The checkered flag flies, and victory in round 3 of the evening goes to Josh Thompson.
Race 2. There's still 2 races to go.
Sorry, dear me.
Okay, ahead.
Let's try that again. Victory in race 2 of the evening goes to Josh Thompson.
Martin's getting swamps here. He's got Roy Ververke trying to unlap himself on Martin Van Loozenhoorn going into the Parabolica. That's going to stop him from getting to Kip. Kip's going to come around and he might get Alex Smolensky on the run to the line here, but I think Smolensky should take that 7th place.
Good, it's going to be close. About gets there.
The bear finishes as well.
Oh yeah,
those are all important points.
Yeah, and
He only
Especially
finished
when
7 seconds behind that little group there, which isn't too bad.
to be in contention for, I think, a second row start for race 3.
Yeah, even though I already thought race 3 happened. I think these are quite long. These have been quite long races, haven't they? I think so. Maybe it felt like there were 3 of them. I don't know. But yeah, Adam, if you can, mate, run through the finishing order since there's 11 finishes now.
Well, if you want to finish first you have to finish, as it says on the iRacing quote before you start up the session, and Josh Thompson must have had that because he was able to take the win, steering through all the various accidents and incidents in front of him. Stephen Baxter finishes second, Stephen Inskip, likewise to Thompson, finishing in third, 12 positions gained, joint biggest mover. Stelian Chepolevsky in fourth, despite the awful damage to the front of his car that was hampering him massively in a straight line. Paul Denton in 5th, 6th for Rob Plumley, 7th for Alex Molensky despite a few spins, one of which took him out the lead. Kip Stevens in 8th, 9th Martin van Luzenoord, and 10th for Samuel Lebert, crashing out of the lead and taking our championship leader Jack Keithley with him. Tom Depka in 11th, 12th Roy Verwerke, David Waldock finishing in 13th place, 1 lap down. He will be on the pole for race 3. Rafe Cullinan 5 laps down. Jack Keithley, who despite not starting the incident between him and Samuel Lebert, definitely got the worst of it, finishing 5 laps down in 15th. And Jos Honig, I don't know what happened to him. We saw him possibly beached on a sleeping policeman. At one point during the race, he finished in 16th, 7 laps down.
Yeah, and Alex, pretty dramatic middle part of the race there with all the incidents and sort of going on around the, in just a few laps.
Yeah, the first couple really, wasn't it? Just all kicked off. Not as much room given, I think, out there when they needed to be, and that's what made all the difference.
You're right, you've got to give some space. You must always leave a space, says Fernando Alonso. Right, and on that note, gentlemen, we've got 2 more races to go tonight, and we'll see the third of those when we return here on Apex Racing TV and iRacing Live.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Truex in the outside, contact made. 56 slides it at a 4. Who's going to be at the stripe? Dead even, give it to Ryan Truex. Truex is your winner over Tandy.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Welcome back to the BSR Formula Renault series. Autodromo Nazionale Monza in Italy. Andrew Woodhouse alongside Alex Simpson and Adam Bath, who's chuckling away in the background. Did you find something funny? He probably did.
Yeah.
We've got overcast conditions here, mate. And that does mean that the track is very, very cold. And Monza's not normally too bad for that, is it? Because of the fact that it's mostly slow speed corners at the start of the lap.
Yeah, so we shouldn't have too many issues, hopefully. The drivers, most of them are pretty experienced. We've even got official series champions on the grid, like Martin van Loozenholt. So here's hoping that we get a good start. We've got Libert starting in 4th. Hopefully he doesn't get any damage in this one. Van Loozenholt starting in 5th, the man who won race 1. So yeah, we should be in for a good one. I think Waldock on the pole, and yeah, Keithley starting in 14th after that big crash in race 2.
I think Martin will be a good favourite here. We'll see what he can do. Go then, revs are rising.
Green, green, green.
Green light is on. Waldock gets away very well, as does Depke from the second row. Looking through the middle is Libert, and they're going to give him the room. I'm very surprised about that. Martin van Loozenholt on the inside line. He's not going to be given the room to go through, but Libert hard on the brakes. Good second place, good stuff there, and that's a decisive move, and he really did have to do that. Alex, that was important for Libert, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, and now he's in a strong position for this one. I mean, I feel like he has got the pace on Waldock, so gets through early. Martin's, of course, in 4th place. There's not far behind, so already, and maybe this is a move for 3rd for Martin on his teammate.
There.
So yeah.
He's hit the curb hard.
Oh no!
Loses it. Oh, I thought he'd done everything he needed to do. And
He'll get a
Samuel
slowdown
Libert
for that as well, won't he? So yeah,
on
settles
the back of the
in.
grid.
And
Is there any damage to the front wing of that car? I can't tell. Libert.
No, I don't think so.
Right.
I think he's suffered any damage. Van Loozenholt going wide. Oh, off goes Ververke into the wall.
What?
Ververke's
I mean, I
out.
know you can go wide there, but
I've never seen anyone going. Well, I have actually. Rob
Ronnie
Hartley in the Ritmotech Sports Car Series did that, didn't he?
Wow. Keithley, a man on a mission. He's back wheels with his teammate Stephen Baxter around the outside of the Ascari chicane. That's Baxter. But on the exit, it is Keithley on the outside going into Bolica. This is trying to get 7th.
oh, he just snapped. He had one of those snap moments for Ververke. That's what sent him out there.
Oh,
Got it into. I'll tell you what, he got it into reverse pretty quick.
Yeah. Well, you thought you might have had to do a bit of a donut to get through. You know a lot about donuts, Adam, don't you?
I'm not eating one at the moment, viewers. I should tell you that as we come across the line.
He's finished it already.
That was during lap 1. Oh, I'm so sorry. Denton, second. And, Plumley having a go. Oh, he sort of had to just crawl into the corner, didn't he? Because he didn't really know when Depke was going to turn in.
Never mind having his hands full. I think Tom Depke's his mouth full here of Rob Plumley. He goes around the outside of Curva Grande.
So we need. Can we edit that one? We need to edit that out, don't we, Alex?
Into the Della Rogia. Rob.
We've lost
Plumley's in
Woody.
4th.
We've
lost our 9 viewers as we go into the Lesma.
It's Woody's dirty
How
mind.
do we
That's all it
replace
is.
9 viewers? Oh dear, that's going on the blooper reel. I wish I could edit videos. As what?
Depke and Thompson. Thompson gets a fantastic run out of the Lesmo, and he's straight into 5th.
Yes, and in Smolensky and Keithley side by side as well. Keithley going through there on the run into Variante Ascari. Plumley, a bit wide. He very nearly hit the sleeping policeman, Alex, on the inside, which would have been a problem for him. May have got a slowdown for that, has he? Plumley? Yes, I think he has.
I don't think he has. Doesn't look like he slowed down that much if he has. So I think he was just trying to get out of the draft as fast as possible.
Looked like he went quite a way over the inside, but I imagine maybe not far enough. Had quite a high shot. There's Plumley now with a great slipstream. going to do though? He's going to
Four
behind
positions.
Thompson. Is he going to attack him?
4 positions gained by Thompson on that lap. Was 8th at the start of lap 2. 4th now, but could he be demoted to 5th if Plumley can get a good enough run, or maybe it's up to the inside? But Thompson, as ever, late on the brakes going into the first of the chicanes, the Rettifilio, and he can now chase after David Waldock, who started on the pole but now finds himself in 3rd place.
Waldock was quick in race 1, wasn't he? But looks slow here, I have to say. But I'm kind of surprised he can't stick with Denton, but see what he can do for the rest of it. Plumley, he's alongside. He's Heathley now, and they're very close. Oh, that was good driving to avoid contact there. Good stuff.
Good from Robert just to not concede there as well. Made it a bit more tricky for Jack. Good recovery drive from Heathley this time as well.
Thompson through on Waldock, but off. Waldock might have a chance to fight back here.
I don't think he will. Remember, they are sort of teammates as well.
Oh yeah.
He's going to let Josh go.
Disappointment there in my voice was felt throughout the world, throughout all the 9 people who are watching. We mentioned this at COTA, didn't we? There's a lot of drivers out there now, Alex, who are in stables or in teams together and often don't really do a lot of racing with each other. As of course they're just trying to accumulate those points, and that's just how the series is. There's nothing really nothing wrong with that. That's the right strategy, really.
Well, no, not at all. I mean, the BSR has always been very tactical, but with 45 cars in it, with the touring car, it makes it a lot harder. And when you start to sort of have 16-car grids, well, then it gets very, very tactical. So,
Heathley, Waldock, Plumley.
Heathley through.
Yep.
And yeah, so we all see a lot of that as well, especially as there's sort of 2 or 3 sort of teams out there, really.
And as well, when you mentioned the touring cars, if you sort of back off and let one person through, you could let 5 or 6 people through.
Plumley still chuking it out with Waldock going into the Rog, yeah, but looks like it's going to be Rob through.
Yeah, Dave seems slow, doesn't he, this one? Oh, side by side behind as well. That's Depker and Smolenski. That's a good battle.
Got a bit of damage that maybe we haven't seen.
Almost touching
damage to the floor or something, or to the diffuser, but that's close, isn't it? Oh.
He's just got a single decker diffuser here. Oh,
contact.
And it's Smolenski.
The contact, Smolenski round. Gonna find it.
That's the spin turn attempts right there.
That's kind of what you end up doing in this car, isn't it? Really, when you try and do a spin.
Well, less embarrassing than what I did at Zandvoort.
Good one.
Wasn't good being played out on across the world for viewers to see. Well, yeah, Stephen Baxter out of the race. Should also mention that. So no repeats of a podium for him here in race 3.
What happened to Baxter there? Because obviously, that's going to be very, very important with Denton sat in 2nd place for the AM Championship.
Didn't that at all.
He came in a few laps after the. Oh dear, I've just had a look. It was Jos Honig. Something's wrong with Jos.
Yeah, I heard it. It's a spin. Spin at the Parabolica.
Thompson moaning about something on the iRacing chat. I don't know what that was about, but
Samuel Libera has absolutely no pace at all. Has he made a mistake? No, that's just how slow he is. What's the damage there for Libera?
I wonder if the second chicane might have damaged something that we can't see.
Oh wait, front wing is bent.
After the second chicane though on that one?
Yeah, I think so. But Alex, I don't know about you, but that's not bent up half as much as what it was earlier, and yet he seems to be losing just as much time. Looks only like slight damage on the nothing that would cost 5 seconds a lap. I mean, grief.
Yeah, I can't make head or tail of that either.
Why does and this is something that iRacing are really going to have to look at, because a slightly bent front wing equals 5 seconds a lap worth of damage. I mean, that is quite ridiculous, even on an aero-dependent track like Monza.
I think the big problem was
got steering damage as well, or are we okay? He's steering straight, Alex. So.
Yeah, I think that the big problem we had was when the car first released, it was like a tank, and nothing, it didn't damage it. And of course, the community moaned and said, it needs to be a little bit more fragile. And I know they don't like it when I give them constructive feedback, iRacing, but they went too far with it. They have a habit of going too far, don't they? So what they need to do is take the damage model they had at the very start and what they've got now, and just put it in the middle, and you'll be laughing. So. For any one of the developers that are listening, please do that, because it is over the top. Like we said, 5 seconds for a bit of wing damage. It happens in Formula 1, the highest downforce, series in there. And sometimes they go faster with broken wings. I mean, it don't make that much damage.
We saw, we did see, didn't we? Was it Vettel, Adam, at one of the races earlier on the season? He lost most of, one half of his front wing
coming
or
off, wasn't it? Yeah.
And he only lost. He was only losing maybe half a second, wasn't he, at the most? I think, and that was somewhere like I can't remember even where it was, to be fair. Something like Spain or something like that, maybe. And meanwhile, by the way, Robert Plumley's lost his nose cone, and I have absolutely no idea how that's happened, because he was in 4th place.
Might be worth having a look back at that, because I know. I've just seen it. Actually, it was on the previous lap. It was going through the exit of Ascari. Oh, it's something I've done quite a few times, into onto that outside wall on the exit, and on the inside wall, I should say. And yeah, that's the reason why the front of the car is no longer there.
Oh dear. Well, Rob Plumley going down the order then. I tell you what will be interesting, Alex, given the discussion that we've just had, is whether he's slower than Samuel Libera or not.
Well,
because in theory, Libera's car should be a downside better off than what Rob's is at the minute.
Well, let's find out. Speed indicator up on the thing. What do they get up to going into the Parabolica then? Plumley's not got any slipstream, neither has Libera, so should be a good judge.
Plumley 2:30.
2:34, I think it was for Libera. I couldn't quite see. Sorry for Plumley. I didn't see what it was for Libera.
2:39 for Libera.
So, yeah.
And Libera's car looks fine, and he's just getting past like he's standing still.
Plumley doing his first lap since the incident. He did a 1:54 there. Libera did a 1:52, so he was 2 seconds quicker.
And like I say, I'm not going to say too much more on it, but we love iRacing as much as the next people, and but that is a little bit crazy, I have to say.
Just constructive feedback, not criticism. Constructive feedback.
No,
we want the sim to be better. We want it to be great.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You want that little. And a little bit of damage. Meanwhile, because David Waldock's going round, by the way, I have to say, with what looks like exactly the same front wing damage, right? Visually, exactly the same. He's going 2 seconds faster than Samuel Libera. And no offence to David, because he's a quick driver, but he's not 2 seconds faster than Samuel Libera.
I would suggest Libera's probably got a bit of chassis damage the way he hit that. But
has he got any damage to the side pod or the floor? Do you think?
No, I can't see anything like that. But yeah. It's yeah, like I say, it was just dialed up a bit based on what it was and the feedback we got from the community, and now it's just too far.
Samuel Libera's overtaken somebody, and it's Alex Smolensky. Obviously a mistake for the Bulgarian there. Libera threw into 12th place as Smolensky nearly runs into the back of him under braking.
Occasionally, he's like the Bulgarian brute, Alexander Smolensky. Some of the driving, and we saw that with Rob Plumley earlier on, but. Trying to pass the Frenchman, Samuel Libera. But like I say, the funny thing is he's not losing a hell of a lot of straight line speed compared to some, but yeah, still 240 kilometres an hour for Libera.
Thompson's nowhere near as quick as what he was as well. Did he pick up some sort of damage somewhere as well?
He looks
lapping about a second lap slower than Martin. He's closing in on Benton, but yeah, just doesn't seem as quick.
Maybe it's the colder conditions for Sam as well, for Josh, sorry.
Benton, yeah, he might hold on to second place here. This would be a great result for him.
Another Faker car on the podium then. We have Baxter in race 2, we have Keithley in race 1, could be Denson here in race 3.
Yeah, and Josh Honig survived his spin to be 8th at the moment. Tom Depker in 7th. For once, nobody's run into him, but I'm going to hold my breath on that one.
Want to gain 7 positions despite that spin.
Yeah, it's great going. Kip Stevens has gained 6 positions. One thing that Kip's done very well, both in the BSR TC and in this series, really, this season, Alex, is he's pretty much kept out of trouble. And he has been racing with people. It's not as if he hasn't.
No, exactly. And this is why he's able to sort of be there in the showdown. Josh, very close.
Did you see what? Oh, it was Plumley I was looking at, actually. But yeah, Thompson going through into 2nd position. Up the inside into Parabolica. Is he going to be late enough on the brakes? I think we know the answer to that. But Paul Denton, he has a good run out of there. He's not going to give up the fight. Denton for Faker Sim Sport. Is he going to get closer? He's gaining, Adam. This is a good run.
They can do that over the timing line, start the final lap of the race, and goes to the inside. But Denton with the straight line speed. Lutely, I was going to say mullered him, but he might just have it. Thompson's going to be late on the brakes though into the Retifidio. You can be sure of that. And there he goes up the inside. Denton has nothing he can do to stop that, and Thompson maintains his 2nd place.
Yeah, Alex Denton got kind of caught in between two, didn't he? He couldn't really go around the outside of him, and he couldn't really do a cutback on him. It was kind of perfect driving really from Thompson in that occasion.
Yeah, exactly. And Denton knows of his teammate out as well, Baxter, that this will get him to the top of the championship. We were talking earlier about it all being about Baxter performing so well and Paul looking like he was the shoe-in for the win. Well, here we go. This is why Denton was top of the AM Championship coming into the showdown before the points were reset, because he's always there picking up points, and another good race for him, and after this one he's going to be leading the championship.
Definitely a bit of damage for David Waldock, having looked at it again, and he only just in front of Rafe Cullinan was getting 7 places, Adam, so good work by the Irishman.
Great job by Cullinan in this 3rd race. Had a big crash in race 2 when he was looking on for a good position after Lebert and Keithley were out of the race. But we saw what happened then. Here in race 3, 7 positions gained, up in 6th place, on for another top 10. I think he should be pretty happy with that, as into the final corner comes Martin van Loozenhoorn. In fact, he's out of the final corner. Checkered flag.
Here we go there, Martin van Loozenhoorn across the line. He takes the win in race 3. It is race 3 this time. And that's the 2nd win of the evening for the Dutchman. Over the line goes Thompson, and Denton in 3rd. He'll be happy with that.
Cullinan gets a good run, but I don't think he's going to get Davey, even though he'll have better straight line speed. Going to be close.
Oh, just about. Waldock scrapes that 5th place. Cullinan 6th. Depker will get the 7th, just ahead of Honegu, finished in 8th. Then it's going to be Stephen Inskip who's going to get the 9th place, and Kip Stevens rounding out the top 10.
Polewski and Faverke, very close. Obviously teammates. Will they battle? I'm not sure. Really, I'm just going to wait for these points to update. But before this race, it was 200 points separated Martin and Keithley. So Martin's going to close that gap down again a little bit more, not much, but I think he's going to need one more DNF from Keithley to be able to make a championship of this. Close that gap after his holiday that he had. So.
Oh yeah, race 1, Martin van Loozenhoorn win. Jack Keithley finished in 3rd. Race 2, Martin van Loozenhoorn finished in about 8th, with Keithley scoring 0. And yeah, in race 3, Van Loozenhoorn another win, and Jack Keithley in 4th place. So it's definitely been reduced, the gap.
Yeah, and that was pretty important for him to do that, I must admit. The gap could get out of control very easily at this stage of the season. And then
all going to be changed though in that now, definitely. So I reckon we're going to be looking at a swing in about 30 points in Denton's favour. So actually this championship is on.
Yeah, it is indeed, and we'll see exactly how the evening's racing will conclude after we come back after this commercial break.
Before we do that, sorry Andrew, let's throw it to Adam for the results.
We can do that as well.
The BSR Formula Renault Series. Martin van Loozenhoorn won. No, Martin van Loozenhoorn wins. Josh Thompson 2nd. Paul Denton in 3rd, Jack Keefe 4th, David Waldock 5th, 6th Rafe Cullinan, Tom Depker 7th, Jos Honig 8th, 9th Stephen Inskip and 10th Kit Stevens. And then it's the drivers that all suffered during the race. Alex Smolensky, 12th for Samuel Lebert, 13th Rob Plumley, Roy Ververke in 14th, Stedin Chapelewski 15th and Stephen Baxter in 16th. All of those guys were suffering today.
Sounds like they were, and well, they definitely were. There's been a lot of suffering going on with the damage, especially today. And well, hopefully, Alex, it's not going to continue in race 4. Hopefully, we'll get a clean one.
Yep, hope so.
All right. Well, we'll see you back for said race 4 after the break. Then this time we will.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Truex in the outside, contact made. 56 slides it into 4. Who's going to be at the stripe? Dead even, give it to Ryan Truex. Truex is your winner over Tandy.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
The final time tonight we appear at the Circuit of Monza. Andrew Woodhouse, Bath and Alex Simpson at this historic circuit. For more from the BSR Formula Renault series. Alex, they don't use that banked oval anymore, but you'd imagine it'd give these cars a bit of a treat.
Oh yeah, with that 16mm clearance that they have on the front.
Oh.
Sure. We'd
16...
see them all slow down. That's the trouble with all the damage that they'd get. Who knows what would be going on?
16mm, it's about the size of an Aramco barrier on the outside as well. As Stelin Chepelevsky takes to the pole, he's going to struggle around there, Adam, with the downforce he's running at the moment.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he's running on baseline or something. He seems to be that slow down the straight. We'll see how he gets on. He's starting on the pole. Verke second, Plumley third. Here come the lights.
Green, green, green.
Green flag flies. Elliot gets away really, really well from the first row of the grid. And
So does Lebert though.
he does. For Verke, covering the inside as he did in the first race. Lebert late on the brakes. Is he going to get the corner?
Oh, he's gone.
Bit of contact. Oh, a bit of contact between Cullinan and Waldock, and as well. I think everybody survived. But on the way now to the Rogia through Curva Grande. Leading then is Daniel Lebert.
Well, he'll be hoping that he doesn't pick up any damage this time. He needs to slow the car down for the Roger, and he does. And he nearly has a tank slapper there on the exit.
Oh,
it's gone.
Plumley.
It's Plumley.
Oh, and yeah, he comes round again. It's Rob Plumley. Lebert leading for Verke, then Smolensky, then Depke, Keithley in fifth, then Chepelevsky, Honig, and Luzenord and Cullinan.
Oh, look at this. Honig, Cullinan, the apex car, Van Luzenord, he's forging his way through. The Cullinan and Honig were both slow on the exit of the second Lesmo, and that's what's allowed Van Luzenord to take full advantage, and is three wide behind him now.
Oh, Van Luzenord a bit slow into Ascari, and Honig nearly ends up hitting him. Look at Thompson, I think, there with that trimmed out car, Alex, attacking now Rafe Cullinan.
Pretty impressive. He's not got any draft there, you know, and he's almost able to sort of pull alongside. Has to duck back in, of course. Rafe is getting slipstream from a couple of cars ahead of him, makes quite a difference.
When he gets this time, then. Oh, he's absolutely flying down the straight, Thompson. He gets back in, just behind Cullinan, pulls out from the slipstream again. Look back in, like you said. It's going off in front of them between Honig and Waldock as well.
Oh, Smolensky and Verke as well, and Keithley.
Depke around.
360 degrees, and he's back going again.
Yep.
Keithley versus Verke going through Curva Grande.
Hey, and back by side then. Keithley at the inside. Bit of a lock-up from our leader, Smolensky! Into the gravel.
Here comes Van Luzenord.
Wow!
Martin just cutting his way through the field. He went outside of one, inside of another. 2 places in a corner and a half. And up to third place. Very, very impressive.
Here comes Cheppy. Been through on Roy.
Oh,
Honig, he came out in front of Thompson. And I think there was some contact, but it was very slight. Oh no, here we go. What's going to happen here? 2 by 2. They just can't get through. What do you do?
Oh, that's what you do. Saws each other out. Oh, going the Ascari, and Thompson ends up getting into 6th. Honig pushed back down to 7th. Martin Van Luzenord trying to make it 4 out of 4 in terms of beating Jack Keithley. He's just 1 position behind him now as Thompson tries to get the move done on Chepelevsky, who has got no damage at all in his car this time, but is still slow in a straight line.
Alex, I'm not quite sure what happened there. Everybody took a sensible pill, didn't they, for once?
Well, it did. We were on board with Jos. He lifted, and you could see that Josh did the same thing. He had nowhere to go. That's the only thing you could do. So,
Josh the boss.
Well, this could be an interesting race because Lebert is being caught up by Keithley. So Keithley can get there within the next couple of corners and get the draft. It's going to make it difficult for Martin to get by.
Oh, Thompson's missed the corner.
Why did he stop that?
No idea. Verke's lost 4 places. One corner.
Thompson
Can happen sometimes.
doing one for the cameras there. I think Josh Thompson going into the rest video. Van Loozenhall's past Keithley. Oh, he's battling with Keithley. And he's rounding outside of Keithley into the Rogier. Libera lock up as well in front.
Libera's got front wing damage, boys.
Again.
Yeah, yes.
Honestly,
what are we doing here? Yeah, he's got front wing damage and he's going to be a sitting duck, surely. Might even be a sitting duck into the... I thought he was going to get overtaken into the second Lesmo there.
Got to be gutted for him. I don't know where he got that damage from. I haven't seen him go over anything.
Look how slow he is now.
It's 2 seconds slow on the last lap as well. Martin Van Loozenhall takes the lead. Jack Keithley up into second place as well.
Probably smacked a curb or something.
Yeah, it must have been.
Maybe at the Curve de la Rogia.
Ridiculous, though. Ridiculous.
Honig past Honig past Chapalevsky going into the Ascari chicane.
Like you said, only 16 mils of ground clearance, but be able to deal with the curbs, you would imagine, on a circuit like this Monza, which, you know, it's not a fearsome circuit in terms of the furniture, should I say, on the track.
Waldbach now trying to get past Chapalevsky as they go for the final corner. Great
Nice
free
run
car
by
scrap here.
Cheppy using that downforce that Alex mentioned earlier on. Great run out of here. Can he challenge Jos Honig though? Honig's going to have more straight line speed. You can see that the Dutchman, he pulls back across Stelian Chapalevsky. Now David Waldock takes the fast lane on the motorway. Stelian switching from between the two. He's not going to have a go at the middle, is he? No, he's not. Oh, Waldock's missed a corner. Shades of Circuit of the Americas.
Well, yeah, Waldock has to cut across. That'll be a slowdown anyway. Once he gets to going again.
Course and being down the order. David Waldock.
Baxter, a reasonable recovery drive as well, up to 8th place at the moment, side by side with Rafe Cullinan. 34 points, I believe, is the difference in the AM Championship.
No.
Oh, Rafe.
And he's almost got beached on the curb. He almost got high centred there. Cost him a lot of positions. Even he might as well have gone right across the corner, hadn't he? Really. Still got the slowdown.
Baxter right on Cheppy's tail now. Cheppy fighting for every position, but
just takes Honig straight away.
Well, he got a better run there, so he's past Honig. But these guys are going to come back past him pretty quickly.
Baxter's driver of the night, I think, for me. Absolutely perfect.
Great buyer. And that's what's gutting for Cheppy there. You know, he got the run, got past Honig because he got the exit, but he just brought Baxter with him, and Baxter took him going into Ascari. So
doing a good McLaren Honda impression, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Stelian Chapalevsky, and I don't mean the 1988 McLaren Honda that won 15 out of the 16 races in the World Championship.
But it didn't have a good record around this circuit either, did it?
No, it lost.
Yeah,
it
lost.
Won.
The only one that it lost, thanks to Jean-Louis Slesser or something, crashing into Ayrton Senna.
That's right. Jean-Louis Slesser.
Cheppy pulls out of the slipstream.
Oh, he's got a good...
And starts going backwards.
Oh.
Ducks back in again. It's very much like that. He's in there right now just going, oh well, doesn't change my life.
We need to kick him up the bum next when we see him in a couple of weeks' time and say, take some downforce off it, man. Got all these cars in a line though. This is the thing, if Stelian gets to the front of this group, it's going to be kind of pointless for him, isn't it?
It's going to be like tandem racing in track cycling, isn't it?
Yeah, he's better off just sat right there, hoping that he can that Baxter will pull him away from Honig, really.
So this is the bit we'll just keep an eye on this as well, because Stelian. This is the bit of the track where Stelian's really, really strong through the Lesmos. He's got so much more grip than anybody else. If you can get somewhere near Stephen Baxter,
let's say, didn't get the line right there at all.
No.
And he's lost quite a bit of time, and he hasn't got the slipstream at all coming out of there. That's the thing. The zone is very, very small, half a second. You know, it's to follow somebody through a corner 0.3 of a second behind is pretty tough. So if you have a bad corner, lose 0.2, you're vulnerable, and this is why Honig's perhaps having shaping him up for a move. 0.3 coming off of Ascari.
Work by Dave Waldock. Moved up a couple of places on this one.
Yeah, Smolenski fighting back though.
Oh, and just in front, it looks like Cheppy's about to lose another position to Honig. So 2 by 2, and the straight into the parabolica. That's Honig through. Waldock holding back Alex Smolensky. He's coming back on him as well for the
Stellian's
final corner.
he's so quick, is Stellian, isn't he, in the corners? But really nothing he can do. It must be getting close at the. It must have been getting close at the front, but
Yeah, Martin's ran off, I think.
no.
Is there a low downforce setup? Is there a preset for that on the setups at all on iRacing? I know that on some other cars you get an
Can't
option.
really remember, to be honest. It's been such a long time since I've looked at the default setups. So I think there is.
Tell me now if you like.
Well, Jeffy definitely didn't have any downforce there. Let's have a look. iRacing
Yeah, there
setups.
is. Yeah,
we do have a low downforce.
downforce, medium downforce, Le Mans setup as well.
Bang on the Le Mans one. That's got to be your best bet.
Oh man, that would be perfect here.
And he's going for the move.
Oh, he's lost it. He's outside though. Has he done it?
Drive off the corner. I tell you what, he is having out there. A lot of bloody fun.
He'll be having a lot of fun.
It's almost like
He'll also be stressing when he sees him pull away. but
this is where if he nails Lesmo, well, you would have thought if he'd have nailed Lesmo, he'd have had a chance. Let's go on board with Jos Honig, Alex. Let's just see exactly how he closes it.
Honig's got problems of his own right now. If we're on board, you might be just about to see David Waldock steam by on the
he is.
outside.
I'd say, and Honig's got damage on his wing as well, and he's still that much faster than Cheppy. Let's go on board with Waldock then. We'll see this. 4/10 of a second back, so it's on about as far out of the draft as you can get.
Also, we've got a bit of break.
3/10.
Samuel Lebert is slower than Stallion Chepelevsky by about 2 seconds a lap, so can Jeffy get to him or not by the end of the race?
But look, Cheppy's going to get the fantastic drive off here. And look, he's got so much more downforce. He can just keep it to the inside. Drives off the corner hard. The Stellian. We'll go on board with him now and we'll see exactly. Look, there goes Dave. Stellian across, right into the draft. He doesn't use all the draft though. Maybe because he knows that he's much quicker in the corners and he may run into it.
Yeah, I think
Meanwhile-
Waldock is just trying to cover him off, not realising there's that much of a speed difference between the two.
Oh,
Honig. Nearly Hofnig as he goes around the outside of Smolensky going into Curva Grande.
Stellian's gaining, Alex.
Oh yeah. They're all gaining on Lebert. Look how slow Lebert is. Another 52 on that last lap. 3 seconds slower than these guys.
Seems like Lebert doesn't deal massively well with the damaged car compared to some. I don't know. It's just the fact that he's just nursing it home. Look at Stellian. He can even follow right in the middle of that dirty area. He can even follow right behind the car in front. Look at that. You see a horse almost hitting him.
Oh, here they come. They're going to get the Apex car for certain.
Stellian's got a double toe now. I don't pull out the slipstream. Boo. Oh, Samuel Lebert, poor guy, just absolutely. He must be a shell of a man after this series, Alex. What's happened to him?
I'll be like, why did I come back to sim racing?
What happened?
Ever since the Road Pro Series, yeah.
Good run here. Come on, take him. You're fast through Parabolica, Stellian. You might have a chance.
Very wide in the background too.
I missed the line slightly. Pepe, and he's just.
Thompson, speaking
Already
about brake
got the
issues.
overspeed. Look at that. It's just like back through.
Yeah, I just noticed that as well, Adam. Josh Thompson complaining about his brakes. He had some pedal issues. Hang on, look at this gaggle.
Oh, what? Plumley, Smolensky, and Honig.
And the ones behind them, and the ones slightly in front of them. Lebert as well.
Oh,
dear.
Smolensky doing his best Adam Bath impression on F1 2017.
Which is
locking the rights and the lefts.
Locking the rights and the lefts. Honig and Plumley side by side then. 2 laps to go.
We're seeing Augusto Farfus have a huge crash at Curva Grande back in the WTCC day.
Look at that. Remember Vettel and
Alonso. Yeah, that
going through there side by side.
Oh, quite a few occasions. Oh, it's Waldock. David Waldock, because I was saying Sam Baldock then. It's David Waldock that's gone off, and he's now in 12th.
I can't get any footage, boys.
I can still hear you though. That's a promising sign.
I've got no. I can't see anything on the circuit at the minute. There we go.
Always useful.
That was really not good.
Gone into a different universe. There's a Honig.
Another dimension.
Honig is through. Past Libert. Just takes another downward, and that just adds another nail in the coffin for Samuel Libert, I think.
You're right. Final lap of the night, Alex. Should we get a bit of action with the leader?
Yeah, he's had bugger all, hasn't he? So
Take us through.
Here we go then, through the first chicane. Hits the apex, lovely. Actually runs out a little bit wide, but he's got 4.1 seconds gap, so nothing to worry about too much for Martin. But good to see he's pushing all the way to the last lap. Round Curve Grande. And yeah, not nice straightforward corner, no worries. And spot your braking. Just want to get up on that curb on the left as well. Oh, look at that. Martin really giving it some on this final lap. This is both apexes, but it's battle going on further back, clearly.
Smolenski was off through Retafilio, and Honig was involved as well. It's all kicking off there.
There's my 1, there's my 2, there's my 1. Awfully pushy, wants to push the car wide, so really have to make sure you get that, sort of pick up that apex and then drive off the corner. And I've just lost footage as well. And it's back.
It's back.
We approach the Ascari chicane. Nice, hard attack. You have to watch the little sausage curves in this car, as we've seen many people pick up the damage, and that's where you're going to get it, I think, more than anything. But again, once you get into Ascari, it's not that much of a challenge coming out of it. Car just sort of sticks through there, lovely. And then as we head down towards the famous Parabolica.
Indeed.
All kicking off here, by the way.
Early turn in, powering out of the corner. Martin van Loosenhoorn is going to take his 3rd win of the night. Very important stuff from him. And Adam, if you can take it away in the midfield.
Smolenski, Honig, and now here comes Verke up the inside for the final part of the Ascari chicane.
Libert and...
It's like an IndyCar oval race or something, the way they're darting back into the slipstream. 3 wide. Who's this? Is this Waldock? He was in the gravel a few laps ago.
Oh, wow. They're all in there. Who's going to take it? Verke's trying to go around the outside of Alex. Waldock. Oh, Waldock's got a good drive. We know he's got good slipstream. Straight line speed. He's not going to make it. It's going to be Smolenski.
Just ahead of Verke.
Teamwork from the Pro Sim guys there, actually. They managed to sort of pick the right line that let both of them come across
Bad last lap for Kit.
ahead of everybody else.
It was 10 seconds on the final lap.
Libert gets that 12th place. What's he got to do? He'll be hoping for... I don't think if we had as like 10 races, I don't think he'd be able to get one without getting damage.
Bad times, isn't it, really? Yeah, we do apologise, viewers, for not showing that final lap, but I did think that our man who's won 3 races tonight hadn't really had a lot of airtime, Alex, as you said.
No, and yeah, he got a good bit there as well. Results are up on the screen, Adam.
Here we go then. Martin van Loosenhoorn takes the win. That is his 3rd of the day, and in all 4 of them, he's beaten Jack Keighley, who finished in 2nd here. That's Keighley's best finish of the night. Josh Thompson rounds out 3 podiums for him tonight. And Stephen Baxter in 4th, 5th for Stelin Chapelewski, 6th for Rob Plumley, 7th for Rafe Cullinan, 8th for Alex Smolenski, 9th for Roy Verke, and 10th for David Waldock, 11th for Jos Honig, 12th Samuel Libert, 13th for Kip Stevens, and 14th place for Tom Depke, and finishing in 15th place Paul Denton. Everyone finished.
Yeah, fantastic job really by the drivers to 100% finishing record there in that race. Alex, if you sum up the meeting, mate, I thought it was very enjoyable and some good racing out there.
Yeah, it was good. Mid pack is where all the fun was at tonight. We've had some great races up front in this series, but it was all about the mid pack tonight. And yeah, glad they got a fair bit of attention and focus, because AM Championship looking really tasty now. Of course, it is getting a little bit closer in the pros. Whether we're going to see it come down to the wire or not, I'm not sure. 179 points it was going into this race, so it's going to come down a little bit more. Not much, but I think we're going to have to sort of see it in about 30 points before the last round for it to be truly on. I don't know. So, but yeah, the AM is going to be a very tasty close to the championship after Baxter's DNF. But a good third place for Baxter again. Like you say, if it weren't for that if it weren't for that DNF, I would have. I know it wasn't his fault, but I would have given him driver of the day. But as it is, I'm going to give it to Martin for bouncing back 3 wins and persevering with that damaged car to pick up an 8th place.
Great stuff by Van Loozenord. Adam, the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship returns on Thursday, and they're going to be at the Autodromo, and that's in Monza as well. So we always look forward to that.
Yes, we do. Plenty of slipstreaming there as well. Pretty chaotic as well, and as you can expect, some pretty big crashes because they're going to be going pretty quick around there as well. From what we've been told on our schedule, we are on the Grand Prix circuit for this one. Of course, it's the first of 2 visits to Monza this year, and of course in the showdown we'll be back. We'll be racing on the circuit without the first chicane. So yeah, first of 2 visits to Monza coming up this Thursday.
Well, Monza was the scene of probably my favourite BSRTC meeting of all time, which was in 2015. So hopefully we can replicate that and give us a great race, just like we have had tonight. Okay, thank you very much everybody for watching the BSR Formula Renault series here on Apex Racing TV and iRacing Live. And as we said, join us Thursday for more action from the BSRTC. Good night.